on Subaru Straight. You can see the guys have backed them all off, and here comes the charge into the pits. 55, Andrew Madecki is in. He's ready for a full set of wets.
Car 28, Kevin Waldock in the pits, same thing. Here comes Dick Johnson. It's a procession. There'll be nobody left on the racetrack.
You won't be able to hear for whistle blowing.
I know the roughest ride up there must be our helicopter cameraman and our pilots tracking race cam and bringing the pictures. It is filthy outside. Here's Johnson in. Keep in mind, Dick said he's got the headlights covered up with shell decals. Looks like a regulation stop down here, just a set of wets coming on.
Andy Raymond is there.
Yes, a full set of wets going on. John Bow is actually going to jump into the car. He's not doing that. The team very concerned about time. Team manager Ross Stone is really giving the boys a lot of hurry up here. As I said, the full wets are on as the Perth Gracie car goes out, and Johnson is just about ready. Now he's going down from the hoist, and Dickie Johnson's back in action.
Gibbs Onslow car goes as well. There's going to be a man charge out of pit lane. Pace car, I think, is going to come out as well. Make sure that cars don't stay out there, because you can see what's happened up there. The
76 it is. One of the Corolla, the 1600cc cars, Calvin Gardner, Jeff Forshaw, Mike Conway. I couldn't quite see which of them was in the car, but he's out, he's okay. We can see that much.
Well, he's just okay.
Oh,
no, Jimmy Richards has hit the wall.
Well, Richo, of course, stuck on slicks and no traction at all, even for a four-wheel drive Nissan.
Well, here's Crompton's chance to be the ultimate hero.
That car is not going anywhere else but the pits this afternoon. The rain is now hitting the commentary booth so hard, you can hear it.
I would expect we might see a red flag. I can see them stopping this race.
Yeah.
Yes.
They must stop the race.
This is it. This will be the end. The red flag will be out before we finish our next sentence, I would say.
Well, now, if that happens, what they usually do is backdate the race by a lap or so, which could well see Jimmy Richards and Mark Scaife still taking victory.
Listen to the crowd. The top of the hill. This is the kind of send-off, and I don't want to...
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I don't want to be unkind to Winfield and the Nissan team, but the punters at the top of the hill, this is the kind of send-off they wanted to see for the Nissans.
well, the Nissan's got in. Jim went in gingerly, but he was trying to wipe off speed. Fred Gibson.
If they don't stop the race, there won't be any cars left to complete it anyway.
Oh, it stopped. I mean, you know, I mean, officially maybe not, but this is it. This is the end of it. There's no doubt about that. 144 laps gone, and we will not see 145. I mean, I can't believe that we will. Red flag is out.
Oh, no. Just get out of that. Marshall will get hit if he doesn't get over the fence.
Red flag is out. The race is over in more ways than one for a lot of these competitors. Well, what in particular for Fred Gibson, Jim Richards, Mark Scaife, what a dreadful end to what had been a brilliant campaign for them here at Mount Panorama in the last hurrah for these Nissan GTRs.
I tell you what, the Nissans have hardly had any paint scratched on them since they've been racing.
The Daily Planet car involved in that, and two of the 1600cc Corollas. The Bates car is one of them. Car 70, I can't see the number on the other. Car 39, 71, is it?
Car 71.
Yeah, so it was the class leader.
And the Bates car was second in the class.
Yeah.
So that's first and second in the class, both into the wall, along with the overall race leader.
The indications are, as Richard Hay pointed out a moment ago, Richards and Scaife, if they've called the race, which they have, may still be declared the winners. They will still be declared the winners. That's as we understand it at this stage. The red flag, as you can see, is out. The race is not just stopped, the race is over.
This result, when they announce it, is going to be the most controversial race result in the history
of the race. Now, this marshal down here, providing all the cars have stopped, is not the place to be running down the track. And Mark Scaife explaining exactly what happened, what he saw on the screen. So in the Winfield Nissan pits, they're investigating and trying to count back the laps. We'll wait on the club.
Oh, the marshal's just fallen over in the wet. Not only are the cars losing traction, so are the marshals. He just went A-over-D down the grass verge.
Unfortunately, the pace car is out. That was what was concerning me. The marshals, a couple of them running down on the grass. So if you get off there, the driver's got no chance whatsoever of stopping with slicks on. These are some of the cars that pitted and went back out. And the strange thing is, it's clearing. Now, here's some action replay. The Everlast Commodore, which just didn't.
18 Shell car was involved in it, but got going again.
Then came Andrew Harris, was hooked there by the Corolla.
The Bates twins.
It's the Daily Planet car, I think.
Yes, the Daily Planet car.
The 18 car went down, and you can see that if it was young Callahan or Barry Graham.
He's out of there.
Now,
This was a separate incident.
Jimmy Richards finds he's now aquaplaning. The left front is doing nothing as he just comes through here. There's a kink to the left. He turns the wheel, but that breaks the back end of the car away. He's got the lights on, the brakes on, clips the back of a tail first. He can't wipe off any speed, and there he goes into the Daily Planet car, and the Planet car goes into the Corolla that's parked down there on the wall. Well,
Well, there is pandemonium at Panorama just for the moment, but be assured the race is finished, the race is over. The field has been red flagged after 144 laps of a scheduled 161, and in a matter of moments, absolute mayhem broke loose here. Foodtown Commodore car, Terry Finnegan, number 27. Yet another slide we see in replay on another part of the circuit up at the top of the mountain up near McPhillamy. And he was fortunate in that the only thing in his way was the wall, not another competitor. So he sustained some damage, but is otherwise out of harm's way. Dick Johnson, relatively unscathed. Arm raised. Now, I don't know whether his arm is raised in what he thinks might be victory, but the indications that we've been given is that the number 1 Nissan will still be declared the race winner.
Well, if the race is red flagged, normally what the drivers would do is come around and stop on the grid, so that may well be why he raised his arm to let the guys behind know that he was stopping, but the pace car carried on, so they've now all set off after it again.
there's another incident coming up for you that we captured.
Oh, this is Jimmy Richards, is it?
Replay.
This is the Richards
What
incident.
happened?
It's a car that's got loose, and it's the Johnson car. And Jim, no.
He's
Still
cleared that.
Crompton.
That's Crompton, is it?
I think
It
so.
could have been, yeah, from the back. So some harrowing moments for the drivers out there. That storm has gone through, but they've hung the red flag. There's the storm moving away from Bathurst now. And the cars are returning, so the race is definitely over. If they go back to the last recorded lap, that'll still give the win to Jimmy Richards and Mark Scaife. But at this stage, we're trying to investigate, because pit stops are on at that stage, whether or not Dick Johnson finishes second or Neil Crompton finishes second. But there's the rest of the vehicles returning to the pit area. So the officials, the clerk, of course, Tim Schenken, has decided that is enough. And depending on, for the spectators here, who they support, we could have a very, very vocal presentation ceremony coming up a little later on. But there's the carnage coming out of Forest Elbow. John Brady with Ivan Stibbard hopefully will clear the air.
Yes, thank you very much, Mike. Ivan, red flag, it is all over, Red Rover?
All over, yes, unfortunately, but as you can see now, the weather's clearing up, but it's too late, it's all over, so we've declared it, and the timekeepers are now working out the final result.
Not afraid that you may have jumped a little early?
No, not if you saw what was happening there with some of those cars. It was a bit dangerous, and unfortunately, some of them don't heed the caution flags, and you only need 1 or 2 to do that, and that's what caused that problem.
OK, the $64 question, who is the winner?
I would say car 1. The race has got to be declared at the last full lap before the red flag went out, and he was still leading at that stage.
How close was he to the next full lap at the time?
Not sure until we get to the timekeepers on that, but he had a full lap up on him on the other cars, so that should be okay.
So that'll leave him out. The number 2 car's still clear as well?
I think so, until we work out what's happened there exactly. I think the results are much as they were the lap before.
Frustrating end to a 30th anniversary.
Frustrating, yes, but this is shades of 87 all over again, isn't it?
Yeah, but I suppose at least we've got the Fords and the Holdens back. Thanks, Ivan.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Jimmy Richards has returned to the pit lane, explaining what happened. Let's go to Mark.
Jim. Yeah, we'll get Jim just in a minute. He's just got out of the car, fairly shaken, I'm sure. Just put the jacket on. He's probably a bit cold from standing up on the mountain there too. Jim, what happened up there?
I just came around the corner and had no grip whatsoever, going about 2 miles an hour, and it hit the bank just out of the cutting. So I just put it in low gear and just went very, very slowly around the track at about 1 mile an hour, come out of the forest elbow, and the car just, as if it accelerated without me putting my foot on the accelerator, and it just went out of control down where the other cars were and hit them. And then the little Corolla did the same thing behind me.
You're obviously okay. The conditions out there, I guess they were worse than they were this morning because there's probably a lot more oil down.
Well, the conditions was wet and we were on slick tyres. That's what the problem was.
Well, Ivan Stibbard has just awarded the race to the #1 car. You must be pleased with that, even after the crash.
Fantastic. I can't believe it.
Well done, Jimmy Richards. And the crew's celebrating here. Mark Scaife and Jim Richards. They've done it again. Very difficult circumstances. They ground away. Expert pit work kept the car on the island except for the last lap, but they were leading when the race was called. And here's our winners, Mark Scaife and Jimmy Richards. Well done. Listen, 1-2. The big winners here today.
You get the impression out of that, Mark, that Jim didn't expect to win.
No. One never expects to win in a car with no wheels.
Yes. But they've driven marvellously all day, Mark Scaife and Jimmy Richards. Jim walks back out of the pits. Freddie Gibson, I don't think they can believe it. I can't believe it, he said.
Well predicted Nostradamus.
He should have gone and spoken to Ivan Stibbard. He was absolutely confident.
Well, it's a rule I guess not a lot of people are familiar with because this unfortunate turn of events doesn't come up very often around the world.
No, you don't get a dry, wet or a wet, dry Bathurst, and that's happened today. And I think Fred at this stage explaining to Freddie Gibson, he was sorry he took the front out of the car, but there was nothing he could do about it. I noticed Leon Daphne down there from Nissan. He's delighted for the swan song of the GTR at Mount Panorama. Let's go down to AJ with Tony Longhurst.
Tony, obviously you want to keep on going.
Well, our car was still in one piece, but I can't see how the Nissans won the race. The rules state quite clearly the cars must get back to Parc Ferme. Now it's stuck out on the circuit, so as far as I understand the rules, the car's not finished.
So what we're saying, we're going to hear a little bit more about this in the protest room, perhaps?
Oh, I don't think we'll protest, but the organisers, you know, they make up the rules. It says the cars must make it to Parc Ferme. Well, their car is not in Parc Ferme.
I guess it's a long year for an ending like this for a B&H team. 4th place, only 1 out of the 3.
No, it's a very hard. It's been a very hard day for us, and yeah, it's just disappointing. But again, I don't think the Nissans won. I think Dick's won the race.
Oh, thank you, AJ, and thank you, Tony Longhurst.
Actually, that's not right. What Tony's saying, I think, is incorrect. It was just pointed out to me, Nigel, one of our aficionados, just pointed out to me that Emerson Fittipaldi actually won the British Grand Prix in 1975, I think it was, while his car was a smoking wreck beside the track. So there are precedents for today's result.
Well, we might be able to investigate that between Johnny Brady and Mark Osler out over in the pits. But good luck, Jimmy's wife, Leon Daphne from Nissan. They were anything but happy about coming to Mount Panorama as the sun comes out now. I guess a word with Dick Johnson to see whether Dick believed the race should have been stopped, and his answer may well be no. But they're headed down to Victory Lane. We'll have the presentation coming up shortly. But Jim, what a day for him as they make their way to the Toohey Centre. Now, this is as we understand it. These are unofficial at this stage, to be confirmed. On the Caltex race score, Jim Richards, Mark Scaife and the Winfield Nissan GTR winning the 1992 edition Tooheys 1000 over Dick Johnson and John Bowe. Neil Crompton and Anders Olofsson finishing in 3rd, Longhurst and Chicotto in 4th. and Win Percy and Alan Grice in 5th spot. We'll clear that out for you when we return.
It's McDonald's Funny Fry Friends with Tracker, Roll and Rocker, Too Tall and Snoozy. Swap their hats, swap their shoes, swap them all. There's lots to choose. A different one to collect each week for 95 cents each with any burger or muffin purchase. But hurry down to McDonald's. They won't be here for long.
French fries, French fries, French fries, French fries. It's snack time now at McDonald's.
When it comes to racing, Bathurst is pretty fast. And Formula One is even faster. That's why we use motor racing as one of the testing grounds for our oils. Because to be lubrication specialists, you have to be in the fast lane.
Look at this. Faster than a bag of old nails. If you've got metal surfaces, do yourself a favour and hit them with Wattle Kill Rust. You see, the Kill Rust system lasts more than twice as long as your average one-coat anti-rust. So when the job's done, it's done. And to top it off, there's a Butte range of decorator and heritage colours. Wattle Kill Rust. It kills rust no matter where you live. What'll they think of next?
Behind the wheel of the spacious new Holden Statesman, one will experience a sense of tranquility unlike any other. The refined V8 engine is so quiet, you'd hardly know it was there, whilst independent rear suspension and optional ABS braking provide the car with an effortless grace that it is safe as it is smooth. All this makes the new Holden Statesman everything a luxury car should be.
We are back at Mount Panorama Bathurst. You've been watching the Tooheys 1000. And Jimmy Richards and Mark Scaife will be in victory lane shortly. We have a rainbow out. We have the sun out now. But one must really support the officials. I mean, we have the track block, which meant that the pace car was going to come out anyway. Would have taken for ages. However, very spectacular finish to today's race. There's the 76 car being loaded on the tilt tray truck to be taken back. Looks like the Bob Jones Peter Jansen car is also receiving attention there at the top of the mountain beneath the Tooheys Bridge. After a superb drive from Bob and Peter Jansen today. And here is where it all went wrong on the Exeter Forest elbow. The Toyota is wedged in there. We have the GTR Nissan, the Winfield entry. I think the Barry Graham Everlast car, sharing with Bill O'Brien and Brian Callahan.
There's a bit of a panic on in the middle of all that, Mike.
There certainly is. There's Andrew Harrison, the Daily Planet Commodore, that was positioned as high as 9th today in the field.
71 there is the Toyota Corolla, which, depending on exactly when the race is stopped and so on, may have won the baby class as well.
Yes, the placings that we give you are obviously going to be provisional in the other classes. And I guess there's the new Spec 93 class.
Well, I think
Win Percy.
Win Percy and Alan Grice will have won that, because I'm fairly sure they were still actually running, so they would have crossed the line. They'd be in Parc Ferme, and there wouldn't be too many arguments about them winning that class, would there?
Well, I don't really know. I'm going to leave it to the people who do what they do so well, the lap scorers.
That's
both the computer people and people like Nigel Greenway, who...
That's an intelligent decision. Discretion is definitely the better part of valour. I've just seen 300 people with Ford flags go past our commentary position.
Where do you think they're going?
I think they're going down to the podium, and I think Wilco will probably do his most difficult work today in a matter of moments.
Well, there's the scene. They're coming out of the grandstands. They're all wet. They've been standing here in the rain all day. There's a huge crowd on top of the mountain. But this is the assembly point for all the fans. That's beneath the Tooheys Bridge, just in front of the centre, where the presentations take place. They're waiting. I'm just looking to see if I can find the Nissan flags out there.
The natives are restless.
Just a little. And here are the fans along Pitt Straight. And the ones up on the hill, they're shell-shocked as well.
I hope Wilco's wearing his can-proof vest.
They're stunned, the spectators. They just can't believe this. But we see some Ford flags down there, and they're down out the front of the centre.
We're all stunned, I think. I'm feeling fairly shell-shocked, I'm prepared to tell you.
Really, after a performance like that today, it would be rotten luck to take the win away from Mark Scaife and Jimmy Richards. Let's go down to the presentation ceremony. It's going to be a very noisy bit of beauty. Wilco.
Thank you very much, Mike Raymond. And here we are at the Tooheys Centre for the official presentations following this foreshortened race for 1992. And the crowd are really getting worked up, and I know why they are. We'll get to that very shortly. But first of all, we've got the 1600cc class winners, Scotty and Jason Bargwiner in their Toyota Corolla. And here they come. A fantastic effort. Just keep talking and ignore this noise. The 1600cc class winners. It was a big effort. The competition between yourself, Peter Verheyen, and the other cars in the class was very, very close. The Bates boys, you swapped positions all day.
Yeah, Scott's still at the top of the mountain. He's involved in that crash. We don't know where he is at the moment. He's trying to get up here now. We just got to thank John Smith for letting us have the car. Mercantile Mutual, Brake Pro, and Rintoul AWS. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks to all the ugly children that helped us as well. Thanks, boys.
Jason Bargwiner. Jason Bargwiner in partnership with his cousin Scotty, who unfortunately is still stuck at the top of the mountain and can't get here. They were the 1600cc class winners. Well, third place outright in the great race for 1982 went to the number 2 Winfield Nissan, Neil Crompton and Anders Olofsson. Crompton, come in here. This will be easy stuff for you. You know how to talk over these guys, mate. Yeah. It was a hell of a race. It's a shame it had to finish when it did and the way it did.
Yes, it's very disappointing, Gary, that it's been such a tragic day. I personally feel very bad for what happened with Denny early on. It really rocked my socks early on, and you know, it's been a fairly ordinary race one way or another. It's not been a good day for motorsport, but I'd like to thank the Winfield Nissan team for giving me the opportunity to be up here today. And Anders did a huge job, and I mean, we tried our hearts out. I know this mob don't like it, but tough.
Neil Crompton and Anders Olofsson, third outright in the Tooheys 1000 for 1992. Now, they keep saying, Anders, we can get you in here briefly.
Yeah.
This is a different kind of experience to what you're used to in motorsport in Europe.
Yeah, but I like it anyway. I think it's nice with all the fans looking for their heroes in the other kind of cars, and I don't mind if they cheer them up a lot. It gives us a good feeling as well. The situation is not too bad.
Congratulations on a wonderful effort.
Thank you very much.
Anders Olofsson and Neil Crompton. And now, the second place getters outright in the number 17, Shell Sierra, Dick Johnson and John Bower.
Well, look, I don't know where the hell we are, but I really don't.
There seems to be some confusion about that.
Well, I suppose there would be, look, I really, you know, it's just one of those races. It's been up and down all day, hasn't it?
What was your interpretation of events at the finish? Did you think you were third, second, first, 15th?
Well, after I passed Jim up the hill, I thought, well, we've got to be number 1, surely. But obviously, you can be beaten by a crash car.
Well, they claim that the result is declared on the placings at the end of the lap preceding the red flag, and that Jim was in front at that point.
I can't understand why they red flagged it, but that's the official's decision, and I'll just have to go by it, won't I?
Well, it's a bit of disappointment, but the fans are still here in support, and next year, of course, things change. We're saying goodbye to the turbos, and I know you'll be back campaigning harder than ever.
Well, we'll just have to come back next year and win it in the Falcon.
Johnny Bow, briefly, conditions, as you said. The whole of Tasmania must be here.
Must be. I'd like to congratulate our guys that did a fantastic job on the car. It's the best race car I've ever driven. It didn't miss a beat all day, and if we came second, well, we came second. But in my mind, we won.
Congratulations on a job well done. If the result might have been a bit disappointing, there's always next year. Dick Johnson and John Bow, second place getters outright for Shell Sierra in 1992. And now, the winners of the great race for the second year running, Mark Scaife and Jim Richards. Well, it's a slightly hostile reception. A slightly hostile reception, Mark, but you always knew that you were going to get that to some degree. But regardless, forgetting all of that, it was a triumph out there today because they were the most adverse conditions that you could possibly have experienced.
Well, it was, but like we led the race all day. I can't believe this, you know, like the Nissan cars, Winfield, we've won the race. That's how it is.
Jim? Conditions a little crowded here. Next year is another year, but the Nissan GTRs have been all-powerful for the last couple of seasons.
Yeah.
The regulations said they could run, and you took advantage of those conditions, and the car proved to be simply unconquerable.
Yes, thanks, Gary. I'm just really stunned for words. I can't believe the reception. I thought Australian race fans had a lot more to go than this. This is bloody disgraceful. I'll keep racing, but I tell you what, this is going to remain with me for a long time. You're a pack of arseholes.
Well, bitter words, and in some ways understandable from Jim Richards, because these guys put a lot of effort and a lot of money, a lot of blood, sweat and tears